In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a hole saw. Find out how, coming up next. What's going on, guys? Kendall here for Renos for Pros and Joes, helping you simplify the renovation and remodeling process. On this channel, we do hands-on product tool and gear reviews, as well as renovation tip and strategy videos. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use a hole saw. And the first thing that we want to consider when using a hole saw is going to be the parts or components that make up the saw. So the first thing that you have is the hole saw bit, which looks like this, and these come in all types of different sizes. And you also have an arbor, which looks like this. And these two pieces fit together in order to make a complete unit, which is then inserted into the drill. But before we get there, you also want to make sure that you are using the right bit for the material that you're going to be trying to cut your hole through. So you have bits that are designed for wood, you have bits that are designed for metal, and you have bits that are designed for materials like tile and block. Okay, so each one is going to have different specifications. Sometimes you'll find blades or hole saw kits that are good for wood and metal. Some may just be good for wood, others may be specially designed for metal. So always be on the lookout for that. Now that we've covered the parts of the hole saw as well as the type of bit that you're gonna need for your project, the next thing I wanna emphasize is the importance of the pilot bit. And that is the part that looks like a regular drill bit that is part of your hole saw setup. Now the purpose of the pilot bit is to create a hole in the material that you're going to be drilling into, which basically serves as a guide for the hole saw to keep it on track and keep it from jumping off of its course. So typically, if possible, you want to drill your hole through your surface of your material with your pilot bit first, and then begin cutting with the hole saw and pilot bit. If you're working with a small hole saw, it may be easy to do them both at the same time, but if you're working with a larger hole saw like a 4 or 5 or 6 inch bit, it may be harder to be able to look around the bit to be able to actually see the point where you want to make your exact hole for your pilot hole. So keep that in mind. If possible, use your pilot bit first to drill your hole, then attach your hole saw and make your cuts. The next thing you want to keep in mind is to be ready and to keep the drill straight, because once you start pulling the trigger on the drill, the bit is going to begin spinning. And you want to make sure that it is straight so that it cuts a straight hole in the material that you want to cut into. Additionally, the drill bit can bind if you don't have it set straight in the material that you're trying to drill through. The next tip pertains to the drill itself. Number one, you want to make sure that the drill that you're going to be using is going to be strong enough to be able to cut through and penetrate the material that you're going to be cutting through. And then if you're working with a variable speed drill, which most drills are, you want to be sure that to ease onto the trigger and kind of let the drill speed up and build up speed as it spins, as opposed to laying down heavy on the drill and having it open up at full speed before you've got your hole begun. And the purpose for that is simple. You want to be able to start and set the course of that hole saw and make sure that you have the control over it completely before you open the speed up all the way or further than just kind of a slow pace initially. The next thing to consider or be aware of when working with a hole saw is, depending on the type of material that you're using, the core of what you're drilling out can get stuck inside of the saw. This is normal, particularly if you're cutting through things like wood. So if you look here on the side of this hole saw bit, you can see that it's got slots here on the side. These slots are designed for you to be able to stick in a screwdriver or some other object to be able to pop out your cores if they happen to get stuck. So enough talking, let me show you how this works in application. Okay guys, so now I've got my drill and I've got my drill bit here, and I've also got my pin that I'm going to use to mark the location for my hole. So I've got some old wood here, and I can just mark my hole wherever. I'm going to make sure that I'm well within range here. So let's just pick this location right here. So you can see that pretty good. It's a blue dot right there. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, because my drill bit set comes apart, I'm going to first take my pilot bit and I'm going to drill my hole first. All right, so I've got my bit and everything in there. I'm ready to go. Just gonna take that. Okay, so I've got my hole drilled. When we're doing this, as I said before, make sure that when you're making your hole that you've got the drill as straight as possible. Use 2 hands if you need to, just to make sure that you've got it on there properly. So the next thing I'm gonna do is attach my hole saw onto my arbor. And now I'm ready to go. So I've got everything set up now, and my next step is I'm gonna put my pilot bit here into this hole here. Now I'm ready to go. I've got my hole drill and I've got my hole saw attached to my arbor and everything's locked into place. And I can also look down through the slots in my bit to line it up with the hole. So if I can put my bit here over the hole, I can make sure that I can see down through there so I can make sure that it's in the hole. So now I've got it lined up there. I've got 2 hands on my drill and I'm making sure that I've got the drill flat. And then I'm just going to start to let it work. So I'm not going to push down on it too tough. I'm just going to sometimes it can be helpful to allow the bit to come out or pull your drill back out, because sometimes the dust and sawdust here around here can get trapped down in here inside of the hole and can contribute to the bit and the hole saw and the core binding inside of the setup. So as you see me pulling it out as it's spinning, I'm just wanting to try to clear out the hole as I work. So there we go. And so I lucked out on that one, guys. The core actually came out without any issues. So we're good to go. Hopefully you found this video informative. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.